Welcome to the Pressure Beast Podcast.
Keeping it tight, tested, and certified.
All right, and we're back. Oh, today, Sean, nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thank you.
Welcome to the Pressure Beast Podcast.
If you would kind of introduce yourself, who you're with, and what y'all do.
Right on. My name is Sean Hudson. I work for Teadit North America. We are a manufacturer of metal gaskets, soft gaskets, braided packing. We're a supplier of bolts and fasteners. We've been in the States for 37 years, and I have been there since day one.
Awesome. Fantastic.
So 37 years, the same job today, as a matter of fact.
Okay, congratulations. Wow.
Congratulations.
That is a absolute awesome.
I don't know. Maybe it's just I haven't had time to put a resume together. But
with
only one job, it's kind of hard to
coming
make
from
resumes.
Houston
Whatever it
and
takes,
way
I
off the
mean.
subject, we got Bagwell and Biggio of the Astros. One thing I loved about those guys is they started here and they ended here. And, it's just everyone jumps ship nowadays. That knowledge and information and loyalty. It obviously must be a really great company. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been there this long.
It is, and it's been great to grow with a new company. So we started with 3 guys, and I hate to say this, but the other 2 guys are no longer with us. So I win. Right? So
It's a little victory.
it's a little victory. I think we now have over 130 employees.
Oh, that's awesome.
We have about 120,000 square feet as opposed to the 18,000 we started with.
Wow. That's impressive.
And we didn't start out by manufacturing gaskets. We started out by distributing gaskets.
Right.
So now we've grown into all the machinery, all the guys, all the labor, all the work.
Yeah.
And what do you do with the company?
But I'm outside sales. I handle the Houston distribution market and the Corpus Christi end user and distribution market.
What's your biggest market when it comes to, is it pressure vessels, is it piping, is it...
Oddly enough, my
obviously-
personal biggest market is rail cars.
Rail cars?
Really?
If you look at a tank car, you might think, hey, there's a car hauling some oil down the track.
Right.
But if you think that there's 6 million of those cars in the United States, they each hold about somewhere between $2,000 and $4,000 worth of gaskets, depending on what they're hauling and when the car was requalified. So I kind of do the rail market for Teadit. But again,
Wow.
anything where there's pipes or flanges that come together, you need a gasket.
That was not the answer I think was...
Never in
gonna
a
come
million
out.
years would I have thought railroad.
I would have actually said that a bit on the lower end of the...
Oh, so I'm a midstream guy.
Right.
For being there so long, they have me here because I've done heat exchangers. I've worked with some of these manufacturers. We've solved
Right.
problems. We do bolting classes, so we do a lot of communications with these people as far as how to bolt properly, how to use a gasket properly.
There's a lot of technique in bolting up a flange or anything else that I don't think most people realize. As far as patterns, torque, your average new person in the industry doesn't understand the process of it.
So in most people's eyes, like when you were 16 years old working on your car, which you could work on back in those days,
Right.
you put a head gasket in, you kind of do some kind of star pattern, or a valve cover gasket, you do the same thing. You can't get to those gaskets anymore, but the procedure is still the same. It's star pattern going back and forth, crossing, using the correct number of torques. I mean, you don't torque it all 100% the first time. There's
Right.
a strategy to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my brother and I's past, we were inspectors for the pressure vessels. And one of the things that used to always irritate me and worry me was they would have for the hydrostatic testing of the pressure vessels, they would have their rack of all the blinds and a rack of gases they've used 100 times. And they would hot bolt the flanges under a hydrostatic test situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized later on in my career that these gaskets could continue to be used over and over and over, granted not safely, or should be done, and then hot bolt the flange, every other bolt hole, and go under a hydrostatic test situation. It was scary, but kind of a relieving aspect that there's a safety factor that's got to be built in with these gaskets.
Well, when it comes to gaskets, you have the physical characteristics of the gaskets. It's going to compress 17%. It's going to recover 40%. You have all these numbers that are taken into consideration when you bolt a gasket. When you reuse a gasket, all of those numbers are skewed.
Yep.
It doesn't recover 40%. It doesn't compress 17%. So you've deformed the gasket the first time you used it. So none of your bolting procedures, none of your math, nothing works So,
Just
I mean,
keep impacting it until it stops leaking, right?
yeah, a gasket is supposed to be used one time.
Agreed.
And obviously, in my opinion, so are the bolts. I mean, you can reuse bolts if you don't stretch them. There's safety procedures that go into using bolts. Again, you can't throw away your bolts every time, but you need to throw away your gasket every time.
I see a lack of industry understanding and knowledge when it comes to bolting flanges, gaskets. It's just a star pattern, and as tight as the impact wrench will go. There's no torque value associated or taken into account. I think it's just a lack of industry, a lack of knowledge of industry information for these things.
Which is sad
It is.
because there's 100 people out here that give torquing and bolting classes, including ourselves.
Mhm.
So we would gladly go to anybody's facility, go through proper procedure. Obviously, these plants and everybody has their own procedures now. We would never ask anybody to go beyond what their procedures tell them to do, but we would put our 2 cents in as far as what's right, what's wrong, and where we can come to an agreement with what's going to work for you.
You guys offer a service where they can give you their hydrostatic test procedure and verify that the stuff is right, or is that something you guys shy
That
away
is a
from?
great deal because I've got so many young engineers that are versed in this and actually sit by the phone waiting for calls like this. They offer their services for free. They will talk you through your lubrication of the bolts, the tightening of the bolts, the type of gasket, the bolt stress, the bolt torque, and actually work you out a worksheet with how to install your gasket and how to do it correctly, what lubrication to use, what K factor you need on the nuts and bolts. So we have teams waiting to do this for anybody that wants it. And again, so do several people out here. It's a shame that people don't use that. It's a free service
Right.
by not just me, not me, you don't want me to do it, but pretty much every manufacturer out here has the ability to do that.
That's awesome. That's a good benefit to the industry. We were both inspectors for ASME co-shops, things of that nature, authorized inspectors. Most of our job was going out and looking at hydros. One of my biggest pet peeves is every shop puts the youngest, most inexperienced person in hydro.
Where else would you put them?
Right. You know, one of the most dangerous positions in the entire shop. And none of them have any kind of formal training, any knowledge of any kind on gaskets, bolting, anything of that nature. So having that available to them would be an
Absolutely.
amazing benefit.
We have an engineering calendar. We have machines or torque. We call it a TGT. A lot of people might know it as a FADU, a flange assembly demonstration unit.
Right.
They're mobile, and we can take them anywhere they need to be. So the lack of knowledge isn't an excuse because
Right.
there's so many people that want to do this and offer it for nothing. I don't want to order out this. I mean, neither does anybody else here. We want to educate you and possibly get an order later. I mean, that's a commercial deal.
If that comes, then yeah, benefit. But the safety aspect of it and learning how to do it right, that's invaluable. So let me ask, as far as kind of switching subjects a little bit, but as far as gaskets go, is there any big innovation in the industry in the last couple of years that they're really changing the game, or is it pretty much just new materials?
I don't think there's any new materials. I think that people are putting their twist on old materials. Maybe I haven't seen any new styles, but the most important thing isn't new materials. It's proper procedures. The materials are there. It's just how do you install them correctly? How do you torque it correctly? That's what needs to be preached.
Right. Okay.
Out of all your product line, about how many gaskets do you think you guys have? Figure out, guess.
Styles of gaskets or number of gaskets?
Number.
Multi-millions.
Wow.
If you look at a spiral one gasket, you have everything from a half-inch 150 to a 36-inch 900. You have different metals. You have 304, 316, inner rings, no inner rings, cam profiles.
CPI.
And if you look at the combinations of sizes and styles, it's almost limitless. As far as special things that can be made, that would make it limitless.
We design a lot of body flanges for our clients, where we could probably use your service as well, where we can spec out a gasket. Because some of these body flanges, we're designing the flanges in and of themselves to fit space requirements, height requirements, and all kinds of stuff. So the gasket needs to be fit into the hole versus
Right.
designing the flange around the gasket.
So you have tongue and groove, and you then also have thickness and tolerances of what your pipeline or flange will allow. Our guys will take all that into consideration and obviously get your approval before we say this is what you're going to do. We would say, this is what we think you should do. Let's talk about it.
Right.
So we're not going to have our engineers design your equipment. We're going to have our engineers get with y'all and make sure that what they decide is good for you.
When we're designing the Appendix 2 flanges, the M and Y factors of the gasket come into big play into the thickness of the flange. And most of the time, our clients don't know what gasket they intend on using. And, you know, they don't have the knowledge of what should be going in there. They're just kind of, we'll just whatever you think type deal.
Right.
And,
All right, so we do have one engineer that calls that voodoo. Let's go ahead and try it. If it worked last time, maybe it'll work this time.
Right.
Or let's shake a magic stick over it and hope that it works.
Right.
But, I mean, doing the math and having the guys on staff to do the math for us makes life a lot easier.
What's a great way for people to get in touch with you if they wanted to reach out to you?
My email is Sean H, that's SEANH, at Teadit.com. Or you can find us, Teadit North America on the web. I think everybody's contact numbers and names are in there. Again, I'm probably not going to be the one doing the math, but I've got so many engineers that just sit there waiting for something to do. And as much as I know they get paid, they need to be busy. And, we have to pay them, but this is a free service. So
that's awesome.
if you have a question, we can help you come up with an answer.
Valuable
Whether it be
resource.
our material or not. The math is there and the guys are there.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
I think we might be able to help point some people in your direction.
That would be much appreciated.
Absolutely. I think just having that resource available is well worth the phone call.
I believe it is, and I know that my customers take advantage of it. I'm a commercial guy. Obviously, a little engineer runs off on you after 37 years, but I rely on this team as much as many of my customers do.
You got anything else you would like to discuss?
No, I just think this was an interesting forum. I've never been involved in something like this, so I appreciate the opportunity, and not for a company plug, but just for an education thing. The education is out there. People are willing to do it at zero cost. If you don't take advantage of it,
Shame on you.
shame on you.
Absolutely. Well, Sean, thank you for joining
Thank
us
you so
on the
much,
podcast.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.